This episode of the Game Over Greggy Show is brought to you by Movement Watches. Movement Watches was founded on the belief that style shouldn't break the bank. The watchmaker's goal is to change the way consumers think about fashion by offering high-quality, minimalist products at revolutionary prices. With over 500,000 watches sold to customers in more than 160 countries around the world, Movement Watches has solidified itself as the world's fastest-growing watch company. Movement watches start at just $95. Now, at a department store, ladies and gentlemen, you're looking at $400 to $500. Movement figured out that by selling online, they were able to cut out the middleman and the retail markup, providing the best possible price. Classic design, quality construction, and stylized minimalism. Over 500,000 watches sold in more than 160 countries. Did I say that? I did. Right now, you can get 15% off with free shipping and free returns by going to movementwatches.com/Greggy. That's MVMTwatches.com/Greggy. This watch is cool. You've seen me talk about it before. Black face, red hands, black band. I look awesome. So it's time to do it, ladies and gentlemen. Step up your watch game. Go to movementwatches.com/Greggy. MVMT. Join the movement. Tone, what's your topic?
This is my first time on the show, so I wasn't really sure how this whole thing worked. But after that magnificent story, I feel like this is a total letdown. Yeah. So I want to talk about cuffing season. You know,
I don't know what that is.
You guys don't know what cuffing season is.
No.
And the reason why you guys don't know what cuffing season is because you all have ladies. Have ladies.
Oh.
Cuffing season,
really don't know if that's the reason.
All right, so there's this natural phenomenon that occurs where the girls that you try to holler at, you know, in the summertime or in the spring, you know, they ghost you or they don't respond to texts. The second it gets cold, suddenly all those texts start to get returned on the, hey stranger,
really?
How have you been? And the next thing you know, your phone is blowing up with a bunch of randos hitting up your phone like, so what's going on this weekend? So are you ever coming into town? And as a performer, right? I've dabbled around.
You have women in every port.
Yeah.
I've dabbled around. And you know, that starts to blow up your phone after a while. So I don't know. Have you ever experienced this before?
What is the is it like handcuffs? I don't know what's cuffing season.
Cuffing season is sort of like, you know, you come on, let's go.
Oh,
you know what I'm
okay.
saying? Or you lock it down.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
In the summer, you want to be freewheeling.
Yes.
Wearing scantily clad outfits, going out with
Daisy
people.
Dukes.
Yeah.
So many
shorts,
Daisy Dukes.
Yeah.
crop tops.
And it's understandable. Like I understand the you know the need to sort of like be free during the summer months, but Jesus Christ, man, it is the desperation in these texts.
Is it because when it gets cold, they want to like cozy up?
That's what I imagine it's the warmth factor.
It's the warmth. Apparently,
Well, here's a very scientific chart that Kevin, go ahead and bring it
I
up.
hadn't found this chart for us. Let's
Kevin's
bring this
gonna
up.
bring
I didn't believe
There we
it.
go.
I didn't believe it until like I heard the term, and then I was like, and then you would look at your text and you'd just be like, oh shit, this is real.
Yeah.
Now, what's interesting about the chart here that I didn't take in, is it going to be cold in the bed and you want it to be warm? It's the holidays.
Oh,
Yeah,
people want
first
it.
leaf
They're
falls
lonely.
under the mistletoe. You need a Thanksgiving person. You need, even October. You need a Halloween date for your couple's costume.
See, it's
You're
so funny
right.
to me because that's when I don't want someone, because that's when I have to fly everywhere and the flights cost twice as much when I've got someone.
See, this pulls up what would have been my argument as well, though. Swimsuit season beginning in the winter, you let yourself go. It's gonna be bad. You start packing on it. What do you? I'll eat a few more Christmas cookies. I'll do this thing. I don't care. We'll lay around. We'll watch movies.
Zero
It's
fucks
cold.
given, yeah.
Yeah.
I think Netflix and chill literally exists because of cuffing season.
Yeah.
Like that entire term, that whole thing comes out of this. That for some reason, you know,
Need to be cuffed. I didn't read the y-axis.
the need to be cuffed. It kicks in real heavy, and chicks will be just blowing up your phone, bro.
That's crazy.
Out of
I've
nowhere.
never thought about that.
So wait,
before.
when does it end?
Right there, you see. I mean, you see, like
it's
spring
kinda hard to
fever is
see.
when people really start work. It's when you're outside of the holidays. February. Oh, look, I didn't even think about that either. Oh, Kev, can I have more coffee too? February is another peak. It looks like if you're listening to the audio version, the big peak. February for Valentine's Day. Then the next big peak is, it looks like it's October as the leaves are falling. It dips below for some reason coming out of October and November, and then comes back for Christmas and New Year's.
I wonder if like Netflix subscriptions charts would look similar.
Oh, I guarantee they would.
If there was a way to fucking like overlap those two charts, that would be. I guarantee you, the fucking Netflix subscription rate would shoot up.
It makes sense for people, especially given the fact that like, okay, you figure December is when you're at your probably heaviest, right? Like you were talking about earlier, where you're like you've binged, you've done whatever, and then January comes around, everyone starts going, fuck,
New Year's
I'm
resolutions.
I'm gonna get fit. And then if you're a fairly good looking woman and you have the capability of doing that, by the time summer comes around, you're looking your best. You got a lot more options. Right?
For the record, I wonder, it's Bae we're talking about, we in the swimsuits, female, we're talking about that. It's got to be a male phenomenon too, though,
No,
right?
for sure. I think we're just speaking this from our perspective.
Yeah, that's all year though.
Yeah, we're a year-round phenomenon.
It's
All year is cuffing season for men. Hey, what are you doing? Why haven't we spoken? I'd love to talk to you.
Oh man, that is kind of true.
That's true, actually.
Guys are thirsty. Like that's the
Yeah.
thing. Like generally,
it's a female phenomenon, bro. I'm telling you, there's something I don't know. It's like
Guy cuffing season is just one line across the very top.
straight line. And then like, there's like a dip on Valentine's Day.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
yo, I
The
ain't
opposite.
serious.
The
I ain't
opposite to get out.
serious.
The opposite to get out.
It's like Valentine's Day and then Super Bowl Sunday. Like you don't.
Yeah,
want
they're like, no, we're busy. We don't want you there.
You know what? We're good. Go out with you. Go get a purse.
yeah. So it's real.
That's fascinating.
It's real.
I see. I haven't been single in so long though that I just don't like none of this stuff even resonates with me. Like when I talk to my single friends or like the few of them that are still left, I'm just like, your life is so exciting. Fantastical.
I mean, if you like herpes, you know what I'm saying?
Who doesn't like
You
herpes?
love you some herpes.
That's why I go to
and
Shake
life is
Shack when I go to New
exciting,
York.
son.
How does it work for you touring around seeing all these different ladies? And
I mean, I have issues, Greg.
yeah,
I have lots of issues. No, I mean, look, I've never online dated. I'm also like always blown away when I see stuff. It's basically it's like it's really easy to get laid now. Like it's literally seamless for like sex. That's what it is.
I'm fascinated. Tim always tells me, he's like, dude, you were really born 10 years too late, like or too early rather.
Yeah.
Because I can't do math. Which one is it? It's the second one.
I was shaking my head because just at the thought of you single in this day and age, how we would.
If I were like 28 now single, I don't think I'd ever be able to commit. I just don't think it would be possible because there's just too many greener pastures. There's always something out there that you could potentially get, and it's just it's crazy. Like when I met my wife, I was like, I already had that mentality where I'm like, I'm not done being single. I want to have sex with more women and different variety of women. It's always like that, but then now it's to the fucking nth degree.
Oh yeah,
where
no.
every single thing you interact with could be vagina.
Yes.
It could possibly be vagina. You know what I mean? Twitter could turn into vagina. Snapchat, vagina.
Everything.
Starbucks, vagina.
Yes.
It's too much, man. It's too much.
I always said
It's too
that
exciting.
if I was
My little
born
heart can't
in
take it.
the 70s, I would be dead. Right, I'm sorry, not born in the 70s. If I was alive as like a sexually active male in the 70s,
man.
I would at this point I would have been at
STD.
Studio 54 fucking everything that moved.
Okay.
And now so now in my age group, like I kind of missed the whole like online dating curve that's happening. Like
You and I
if
got
I was
the
born a little bit
90s.
late, I'd be dead.
You and I got the 90s, which is probably the worst time to date in the
You're all
fucking
gonna
ever.
die if you have sex. Don't touch anyone.
Terrible.
Oh Jesus God!
Like everyone was wearing really baggy clothes and they smelled like it was like grungy.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
like,
if you're into that,
I mean, I
just
don't know.
saying,
The
I
no.
shared a
These
fork
like-
with somebody at school. AIDS. It's over.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Dude, like getting a chick like back then, like in the 90s.
That was hard.
It was
man.
it was
You had to, like,
90210.
play guitar.
Yeah,
You know
dude.
what I mean?
You had to have skills. You know what I mean? Like it was ridiculous. Like
Talk to them.
oh, you had to talk to them for
it
like
was
extended
terrible.
periods of time.
Like,
meet
you had
the
to be into the
parents.
Cranberries.
Call their house. Hope their brother
the
doesn't
Cranberries.
Tori Amos.
Oh, Tori Amos. Yeah,
I'm
You
actually a
can't put it in
huge
mispronounce
Tori
it.
Amos.
Oh, I'm
fan.
not knocking the music. I like the Cranberries too. I'm just saying that was like the thing though. That was
I've been
like
to 18 Tori Amos shows. Just putting that out.
Have you met her?
Tori Amos is to Tone what Tone is to me. I would say.
Interesting.
Right?
Yeah, I guess. I guess.
I think.
I mean, I guess.
Good for you.
But have you met Tori Amos?
I mean, is there anyone above her?
No.
Yeah.
Big
Yeah.
Kev. Big Kev. Dog.
Really?
Woof, woof, woof.
Oh, I love you, man.
Oh, you didn't believe that part? I thought that shit was clear.
That's what he held up on.
That's amazing.
That's so funny. But no, yeah, definitely.
Oh, that's nice. Thanks, Tim. I appreciate that, bro.
Do you find that when you're on the road though, that it does get lonely a little bit? That you're having are they these sort of like bite-sized relationships that you go out?
Okay, so
imagine they're
I have songs about
full cake?
that stuff on my new record. Like I made
Plug. Where can you get the new? Where you get the new album?
You can get it at tonedeff.com, tonedeff.com. Certified sex addiction, right? Clinically certified. So, what happens is I am. Yeah.
Okay.
So what happens is, it all just starts to just blur, and you're just constantly on this like elevated state where you're just trying to get high all the time. Basically,
Yeah.
you're just a
High
junkie. Yeah, at this point. So
High on Jane.
yeah, bro. So yeah, it starts to blur into a mess after a while. And then you get lonely because you're in fucking Idaho somewhere at a bar,
Right.
And you've just played to like fucking 40 kids or whatever. And underground rap shows, honestly, it's like a lot of like dudes, which is a no-go for me, but like they bring their girlfriends, and then the girlfriends are like bored, and then they're like, he's like cute because like he said to do stuff from the stage and everybody did it. So like when my boyfriend goes home, like me and my friend were just like what are you doing later? Like after the show. And then
It's just like the movie.
yeah, no, it's like ridiculous, dude.
But
Like
see, no man was meant to have that much power. We're not designed
Yeah.
to have that easy access. We have to, like,
Hunt
we
and
have to
gather.
try. Otherwise, it fucks you
Hunt
up, man.
and
Yeah.
gather.
We are. We're like, but like, I just don't like. I often wonder. Like, you hear these stories of like big celebrities who go fucking crazy, and like
it's
too
much access.
It's too much, man.
Yeah.
Like you have to have something to fight for and work for. Otherwise, you get twisted.
Yeah, it's too much access. Like porn, the way porn is now, like I can't imagine being fucking like a
14
a child
with a phone right now?
coming up with like
Never
'cause
leave my room.
I was watching VHS.
I was like, you
cassettes.
gotta leave your room. You've been there for 6 months. We're like, no, there's more.
Yeah, dude. And like,
We understood.
yes,
No, we get it. We still. Oh no.
brutal shit.
Bye.
Yeah, it's there's just too much access. So like when you see shit like Tinder and all that, bro, it's just like everybody's
scares
so.
But even
yeah,
that,
it's
like,
scary to me.
So
Like
when Tim and I used to first started hanging out, I was like, oh, Tim. Like I was like, I'm gonna teach Tim about women because Tim is a young lad, doesn't really know anything. And
Those were the days,
I
true.
was like, Tim, girls don't like that, and he's like, yeah, they do.
yeah,
Like girls aren't into the big. I remember we had a conversation about blowjobs, and I was like, Tim, most women don't like giving blowjobs, and Tim's like, well,
My generation.
I think that may have changed since Uncle Nick was in school. Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Uncle Nick.
No, I mean
Yeah.
it's an interesting thing because I grew up, I think, thankfully, in an age where there is much more equality in terms of the women male like dynamic
Yeah.
of women like sex.
Yeah,
That's
it's
the thing.
okay for
It's
women to like
okay
sex
to
now.
like
It's only,
Yeah, that's
it's
the
only
big thing.
okay. I mean, I guess that's the thing is like where we're at right now. It's that kind of acceptance that it's okay, which is ridiculous, but like that's
it's
where we're
completely
at.
ridiculous, yeah,
But
man.
like the next generation, so I feel like Kevin's little brother and like them, they're just gonna grow up, or hopefully by then, grow up in a place where it's like, nah, man, women like to fuck.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
just
Everyone
as
enjoys
much-
just as much as
everybody likes
That's
fucking.
an important
you know?
distinction, right? So like my time was about it being okay for women to enjoy sex. Your time is women like to fuck.
Yeah.
Like
That's the joke.
and that's
Like-
that's a huge differential, right? Like that's thank you, Jesus. Yeah, look at that. Good pour. And that's hugely important, right? And I feel like that's why when I think back on my life, that's the one thing I'm most disappointed about.
The one thing.
Everything else is great. No, of course I'm joking, but
I mean, but going-
it's cool.
So what you're saying is we're about 15 to 20 years away from Roman orgies. For
Oh
that-
yeah,
that- right?
No,
yeah.
that's-
Like
that's
going
coming
like
up.
the Romans had it right, man. Let me tell you, they used to eat a lot. They'd go throw up, and then they just fuck, and then they just completely do that over again until they passed out. That's a great lifestyle. Great.
Let's be Romans.
It's a great lifestyle. It sounds fun for a while. Except
I can
throwing
get-
it
I
up.
can
I'm
get
not
6
down with the
months
throwing up part.
So here's my thing, Tone. I want to get serious. If you're sex addicted,
Yes.
do you? Are you trying to stay away from it like a recovering alcoholic, or do you?
Yes.
Okay. How hard is that? I mean, because I assume it's the same.
Rock hard.
It's
You've
it's fucking.
How are
damn
you
near
turning a
impossible.
serious thing into such a joke every time he does anything?
It's rock hard, guys. That's terrible.
At all times.
It's just right there. I'm sorry, Tone. I didn't mean to.
Because you have to have all the
disparage.
same triggers, right? You're still going to Idaho. You're still playing for the small
Oh
crowd.
no! All the same triggers are there. They're always there. They will always be there. And so it just gets to a point where you kind of have to like try to avoid certain situations and like surround yourself with like people that aren't gonna like put you in a situation, you know, because, you know, we all have those friends that are like, let's go to the fucking bar. Like nothing good ever happens after 3 a.m. Like ever. Like,
trust me, I know. Like quitting smoking was really hard for me because when you're a smoker, you surround yourself with smokers, right? That's the whole point. Is like you just find each other, and especially when I was at IGN, it was always hard because I'm like, I want to quit smoking, but there's always someone that I know that has a cigarette right now, and I know that person. If I ask him, will want to go out there with me,
right?
And so when I actually finally quit, you notice a different dynamic in the relationship with the people that you used to kind of, for lack of a better term, abuse with, right?
Right.
You're like, wait a minute, we were like really tight.
Exactly.
And then it turns out maybe we're not so tight. Maybe we just have this common kind of fucked up
relationship.
That we
kind
of need each other for. And then
for me, it's like, you know, I always know somebody with a vagina. Yeah, that's like
50% of the world probably has one.
You know, I know somebody with a vagina, and like they'll just like magically text me during cuffing season, and then all the triggers kick in. I'm just oh god, why?
Especially now because they can actually just give you a picture of the vagina,
right?
And you're like, let's cut right to the chase.
I'm like, I have a working Netflix subscription. I have good Wi-Fi. Let's make it
a great Italian place that delivers.
So it's hard.
Those Patsy's. Highly recommend it. When did you realize that it was an actual problem that you had to fix?
I rock bottomed. I was married for 11 years.
Oh, wow.
Well, I was married for 7.5 years, and I was with her, my ex, for 11 years. And you know, I ended up destroying everything basically. My record's real dark. You need to check it out. And basically, I after we separated, it was just sort of like all the leash came off. You know, and I went absolutely fucking crazy. No pun intended. And
bonkers, huh?
Yeah, no, I just hit a point where I was just I couldn't look at myself anymore. Wow. You know, when strangers, like it was bad. You know what I mean? And so I started going to therapy and everything, and really try to level out. You know, try to date somebody who I like care about, that sort of thing. Sure. And you know, it's a checks and balances thing, but it's tough. But I'm getting through it. You know what I mean? And working on the projects that I've been working on, it's been helpful for me because I've had to sort of like look at all the pieces of myself that are like causing certain things, and that reevaluation really helped me stabilize. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So it's true catharsis.
Yeah, like from a very top level, the EP Glutton is about the sex addiction stuff, right? And the song specifically, Glutton, that Tone performed at Kind of Funny Live 1 and 2.
Hey.
So like the loud song where everyone's jumping around and stuff, actually about sex addiction.
Yeah, that song's about just being in the state of having just an endless appetite. So, you know, just equating, you know, grasping at the bottom when you plunge in. Like just diving in isn't enough. You need it. You're still trying to grab at it. So the Glutton EP was about that section of my life, you know, and trying to sort of convey that sense of desperation and darkness and your most disgusting fantasies and just putting them out there so you can like evaluate it basically. But it's under the guise of like an EDM dance record. You know what I'm saying? It's like, this is really fucked up and I love it, you know, so.
Good beat.
Yeah. So anyways.
Well, that's cool. I'm glad you're working on it. I'm glad you're in good spirits about it. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't seem like it's crushed you.
It's taking time, but you know, I feel like I'm in a good place at this point. Right now, I mean, next week I'll be in a fucking ditch somewhere.
It's
with
one
my
day
dick
at a
in my
time.
hand,
Thing.
so,
Well,
yeah.
Jesus Christ. Jesus fucking Christ. Now you're sounding a lot like Nick.
Fair enough. Yeah, we should probably not hang out.
Yeah, let's not hang out, Nick.